I'm a single mum of one child who turns 8 at the end of August, at which time I will be put onto JobSeeker. Your government has announced that the age limit of eligibility for the single parent pension will be raised to 14 from September. That's a whole month. I won't be able to pay my rent because the payment of JobSeeker won't be enough to cover it. So I'd like to know what measures the government has in place to bridge the gap that I and other parents in similar situations will find ourselves.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your question. I mean, you're really the reason why we are lifting the age from 8 to 14. And, you know, this is something that we were very keen to do in the budget because we recognise the extra pressure that you're under as a single mum. And I pay tribute to Anthony Albanese and the Minister Amanda Rishworth for pushing this change that we all support because we understand that 8 is too soon for someone in your situation to go from parenting payment single onto JobSeeker. And what we've tried to do is to bring that change in as soon as possible. We think September is the soonest that we can do it. I understand that that means a few weeks for you going from the current payment onto JobSeeker and back onto single parenting payment. I'd love to avoid that if we could. But what we're trying to do is provide this extra assistance, about an extra $177 a fortnight from memory for about 57,000 single parents, almost all of them mums. Try and provide that extra assistance that you need and deserve. If we could avoid those couple of weeks, we would, but September's the best we can do.
What are you going to do for that month, Jessica?
I'm not sure what I'm expected to do. At the moment, my entire pension is my rent. I live off family tax benefit A and B.
Yeah.
Right? A fortnight.
Yeah. Understood.
My rent's just gone up from $900 a fortnight to $960 a fortnight.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Yeah. So the two.
What is my choice?
Yeah.
Other than I am doing my best to get a job so that I can keep a house over my daughter's head.
Yeah.
When I'm applying for the jobs, I'm faced with being told that more than 100 other candidates have applied for the same jobs. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to compete against 100 other people for one job. And regardless of that, I don't have anywhere to go because I'm already paying my entire pension in rent.
Yeah.
Everywhere else in Sydney is comparable to that, right? So for 4 weeks, like, I just don't know what that looks like for me. And I don't know what that looks like for others in my position. And I want my government to have a strategy in place for that gap to be bridged. This is your policy. This is something that you can absolutely get through and have it pass legislation. It just needs to be thought all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Well, we do have a strategy to help, and it will come in from September. But before that, there's also, if you live in New South Wales, up to $500 for energy bill relief. There's also the biggest increase to Commonwealth rent assistance in, I think, 3 decades. I understand genuinely that you are under the pump.
Even that rent relief, sorry, Treasurer, doesn't come in until September.
Yeah.
So even there is a gap where people, and, you know, Jessica, so sorry for what you're going through, and as you recognise, there are so many others going through it as well.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And that's really, you know, so much of what we tried to do on Tuesday night was to provide extra help for people in your situation. And I do genuinely understand that you would rather that help sooner. September, from our point of view, was the soonest that we could do that. The parenting payment single is an important change, but not the only one that you will benefit from. Energy bill relief, Commonwealth rent assistance, cheaper medicines as well. But I understand that you're under pressure. I can hear it in your voice and I can see it in how proud your daughter is of you for raising it as well. And we will be there for you and do what we can to help you.
I'm wondering how you approach this, Treasurer, because we seem to be working not just in a two-geared economy, but there are multiple gears to this now, multiple levels. On the one hand, you bring down a budget surplus, which was surprising and welcome. You're banking that because we're going to go into deficit. We're told that we have full employment. We're going to get to the question of bringing in more migrants a little bit later. But people are not feeling this. They're not seeing an economy that's in surplus. They're not seeing an economy with full employment. 100 people turning up for a job when Jessica goes looking for a job. How do we account for this difference between what is felt and what we are told?
Yeah, I think that's a really important question. And I know when people hear that the budget this year, 2022-23, is expected to be in surplus, that's hard to square with the fact that the budget gets tougher after that. Some of the structural pressures on the budget get more intense rather than ease after that. But also, I genuinely understand that when people hear that news, they want to know, what does it mean for them? And what I've tried to do as the Treasurer, what the government has tried to do under Anthony's leadership, is to see the economy in people-facing terms. To understand that when we can afford to provide a bit more help for people, that we should do that. That we don't have to choose between managing the budget in a responsible way and having the heart to help people who are especially vulnerable, whether it's people on low and fixed incomes or even right through middle Australia. And what we could afford to do in this budget was to help people with bulk billing and Medicare, to help people with their out-of-pocket medicine costs as well, energy bill relief, Commonwealth rent assistance, an increase in the base rate to a number of payments. And all of these things are about demonstrating that managing the budget in a responsible way and a surplus for this year, if it eventuates, is not an end in itself. It's the foundation from which we can help people and invest in your future.
Just quickly, Jessica, is there any chance of going to your landlord and maybe seeking some assistance or a bit of relief for that month?
I find that a bit awkward because the landlord actually lives next door. So, and it's through a real estate agent, and I haven't broached it yet. But if it came to it, but I don't want that on my name.
No, sure.
I didn't stop paying rent the entire COVID situation.
You're looking for work.
I don't have a bad renting name, and I don't want anything on my ledger that says skipped out on 4 weeks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
understand.
Like even under agreement.
Yeah.
I want to keep being able to pay my rent.
Yeah. What's your daughter's name?
Ivy.
Ivy, thanks for coming in. Look after Mum. Good luck with that as
Thanks.
well, and I hope that things work out, and that month you're able to work out something that just gets you over that hump.
Over the line, thank you.
Yeah,
Can I say something very quickly, Stan? Jessica, you wouldn't know this because they're behind you, but one of the great things about you raising this with us is there are student leaders behind you who are backing you in as you make some of these points, and I just wanted to acknowledge them as well.
Yeah.